your opponent can use either a shield or a second weapon. The main battle cry of a winning single sword fighter is arm! And you guys need to remember that your off arm is going to be your savior. If you're fighting in a single sword tournament, if you can block one shot with your arm while getting a kill shot, you will always win. Always. So, what you want to do is you want to think about how your body is going to be positioned. You see a shot coming in from your well, depending on if you're left or right-handed, on your offside. You want to think about covering full body linear areas. You want to contour your arm to your body. It will cover more distance. You want to keep your arm away from your body so it will actually cover more area. Most people, they're going to want to come in, they're going to contact your arm, and they're going to stop. If they wrap around, you have more area to keep your arm in the way of your body. So, things that you want to be looking for. You want to be looking for blocking full sides. You want to block over your body if they're coming down. You want to block for different sides of your body. You want to block for your shield. You want to block all the way in. You want to start swiveling your hips to actually cover more area with your off arm.
Think of it as a very small shield. You notice he's doing a lot of similar movements that you would use in sword and shield.
Yes. So if you are practiced with the sword and the shield, this is the same similar sort of idea. Your block is just much, much faster. You need to be able to block offensively with your arm as well. So if you guys want to come through a couple steps with me, get into your normal stances. If you're what I'm doing will be mirrored for lefties. So I see at least 3 lefties already. Basically, it's using your off arm. So you need to think about stance. So first off, while you're in this off leg forward is an offensive stance. It allows you much more movement forward with your primary weapon, gives you more extension, hides the length of your shot much better. So basically, you can step in and throw a shot. That's an offensive stance. Defensive stance is sword leg forward. You can step back and riposte much quicker.
Leaf, as they do the drill, you want me to go around and check stances?
Please. You want your stance. You have a couple of different basic stances. I personally prefer the fencing stance. One foot to the side, other foot perpendicular, legs bent. You want to have a good center, low balance. Keeps your kill targets much smaller. Blocks are going to be a lot more firm from that sort of stance. So everyone get into a normal stance. We're going to go around. I'd like you to start thinking about where your arms are going to need to be. And we're going to go through and we're going to check everyone's stances and make sure that we're all getting a good low center of gravity.
Obviously, you want to resurface it, right?
What? And
You have the arm up.
stance as well? Great.
Obviously, I can only go
Okay.
in one direction.
You're centered up a lot. What you really want to do?
Vicus is another good person to talk to. The guy in the big red. Because he's pretty heavy.
A lot of you guys had a pretty good stance. You know, you used the advanced class, so I'd expect much. Really, the things that I was seeing most people doing were they were centering the shoulders a bit too much. If you see me here, if you're starting off in this stance, you have a lot more targets. Basically, F-guard is such a fast-paced sport that if anyone can see it, they can hit it. So what you want to do is you want to decrease your targets at all points in time. Try to make your body area as low profile as you possibly can at any point in time. You want to keep just, if I'm fighting against Jabberwock, you want to just keep as small a target area as you can. I turn almost completely sideways when I start off. This is also an offensive stance, which allows me to step in, block, and kill him at any point, and kill him on either side or stab. Sure. Now that we understand that we don't have that many people who are that fat in this class, let's get beyond that point and move on to different ways of blocking out. So while you're get back into your stance. Stand with a partner actually, face each other. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to alternate shots. So you stand within the distance of your opponent's range. We're talking about red range here. One single sword swing. One single sword swing, no stepping. No stepping. You both need to be able to reach your opponent. Now what I would like you to do is I would like you to alternate. One opponent swings, the other opponent blocks. The person who is swinging needs to do one kill shot. And what your blocker is supposed to do is your blocker is supposed to block out with any means necessary. An arm block is sufficient as long as it does not contact your torso. What you're trying to do is you're trying to combine the effects of both blocking with your sword and blocking with your arm. Yes, head blocks work too, Brendan. All right, go on. We'll come around and continue.
Are we allowed to feint?
Yes, you are allowed to feint.
Damn you, Rose, practicing at this. Rainer, you're not offensively using your arm at all whenever you're blocking.
Really bad now. We're going to stand square up with each other, right next to each other. No, not that close. You do need to be within a sword's range. You need to stand square with your opponent, and you need to start thinking about using your off arm. A lot of people I was seeing fighting sword arm only forward. You need to think about offensively blocking with your off hand. What? Quick point.
All right, I noticed a lot of you are blocking with your arm even when it's thrown to your sword side. Don't do that. Use your sword if it gets thrown to that side. He said use a combination of your sword.
You need to use a combination of your sword and your arm. If you're trying to learn how to... Unless you're throwing a shot. No, even better. Right side of your body. If the shot's coming to your right, you need to think about the hand block over this. Sure. Okay, go on!
Oh, nice.
So like this.
You see what I'm saying? Like, do exactly what he said. Like, you swing down, and then I come here, and then you bring it back up. No, you're here. So that's now, all right? So, let's see, either there, or actually hit the block right here. And then down, or...
The major themes that I've been seeing when I've been going around is the fact that a lot of people are trying a little bit too hard to think about where the sword is going. Actually, there's a very easy way of looking at it. You need to know the angles of attack of your opponent. If your opponent's sword is straight up, the quickest attacks for him are straight down or a little bit to an angle, slot shot, side shot. What you're wanting to do is you're wanting to think about all of the blocks that are characteristic, a single block that is characteristic to block all of those. You need to put your arm in that position. If your opponent's sword is up, you want to think about having your arm in front of you in a sideways sort of manner. That way, if your opponent swings to your left is my left, you want to be able to bring it just a little bit to the side. It's a much smaller movement here than trying to bring it like that. If you have it here and they swing to your right, you step a little bit to the other side. You give a little bit with your body, and you cover a lot more area with your arm. The other thing is if they have their weapon in an up and down sort of position, and they start turning it, you can just watch the way that their body turns, and you need to give with your body as well. So if they start here, I would start here, and if they start moving, I would start thinking about where their sword is going to go from whichever angle their hand is in. This is where the warlord fakes come out. Basically, warlords think about where their hands are at the beginning. They know where all of the shots that you can throw are from the beginning. You start the move. The difference between a newbie fake and a warlord fake is a newbie fake comes like this, and I have to show you exactly where the shot's going to come in, and then I need to change it. The warlord fake starts like this, and that's it. You get them to move first.
Just to clarify, he's talking about your target audience, not your own possession skill necessarily.
Right. So the warlords are going to see where the shot is coming from, and as soon as you move, they're going to say, I'm going to put my block here and I'm going to throw there. When you're, the non-warlords are going to see, all right, his sword is there, I need to be blocking-ish here. It's not the way you need to look at it. You need to understand from each position of the sword at every given moment in time. The more you break down the seconds of fighting, the better framework you'll have for understanding where they can hit you. So shots change in mid-swing all the damn time. It's a matter of covering the most area to block at any given point in time. So if you guys want to get back to it, do a little bit more practicing. This time, I'd like you to stand in an offensive stance with your sword leg, with your off leg forward. Think about, you're going to need to stand close. I would actually like you to take steps offensively on your opponents. So if I'm fighting against jab here, we're both going to stand offensively. I'd like you to actually take that half step and try to work it. Also, the same will go in the defensive area. You're going to need to try to move a little bit to block out as much as possible. If he, so jab, if you're going to swing on me, I'm going to need to think about moving all the way around to try to make sure that that shot is going to contact only my arm. The same thing goes for the other side. If he steps and I swing, if I step and I swing here, he's going to need to think about blocking with his sword and how much of that block he needs to do. A lot of the pointers that I've been giving to you are trying to block the largest coverage area possible. Putting your arm on your leg blocks out any opportunity for your opponent to come underneath your arm and contact your side. The same thing goes with your sword side. Put your sword on your leg or very damn close to it. You're going to need to block anything that could come underneath it. That's where the warlords are going to shoot for. All right, guys, get it going again.
Yeah, you do have more range, but that's the point of the step.
The ability to fake them out is going to come from where he thinks I can attack him. So he has his swords open, wide, you know, goal posting it, allowing me to shoot for his center. So when I swing for his center, he's going to come up. That allows me to come either down or, stand again, or over. Down behind his sword. Basically, all you're trying to do is give them what they think that they're expecting. They'll react to it because they see it, they know people know their weak points. Give them what they think they're going to need to block, and then use that against them. So, do we have a shield? A couple of the basic feints that you're going to want to use against shieldmen. Shieldmen, again, a single sword versus a shieldman, you have all of the same advantages. He has a block, I have a block. Mine is faster than his is larger than mine. The things that you're going to want to do is the shieldman will expect you to swing for any of his open shots. Most shieldmen, you hit him in the shield, they're going to swing for your body. So if I'm going to give him what he expects, I fake high and then I stab in low. At the same time, shieldmen also try. If you swing for a shieldman's shoulder, he's going to move out, and I can swing in for his butt because I'm asking him to move his body to block the shot. When he's bringing his sword back, he'll also be at a lesser availability for attack. So if I swing in, he's not going to be able to swing forward because he's moving his shoulder arm back, and he's going to decrease his range against me, actually decreasing his yellow range to about 2 feet and not being able to attack me. If his shoulder is all the way back here, I can't swing and hit him if my shoulder is back. It's a matter of extension. Other things you want to do, shieldmen expect leg shots. So if I swing down, shieldmen generally will bring their shield leg back, and when you do bring your shield leg back, you arch your body forward. So at the same time, you want to use large circles, and you want to be able to bring your sword all the way around and hit them on the backside, just to make sure that they can't, to enhance the availability of your shot. You're taking advantage of a regular, basic, major shot and just making them want to make it a little bit more available to you. Use your opponent. Have your opponent give you shots. The idea on the punch shield. As best I can. So for the punch shield, the same things are going to apply. If I'm going to swing for his sword arm, he's going to want to bring his shield all the way back to his body. Works great for straps, but not as much for. Oh,
that's what I was pointing out, was the downward angles. You're gonna have to do it a little differently. Leaf has a great pop-over shot, and that's what he was using in this case.
Right. So, swing.
Because a punch shieldman is not going to really kick his leg back. He's so mobile with the punch shield, he's just going to drop it.
Right. Oh, so were you talking about leg shoulder? Okay, so yeah, a leg shoulder is going to be a little bit different. He's going to block down, but his block is still coming. He's opening himself a lot on the top side when you swing down, and that, all you have to do is bring it up and over. There's a lot more area. You can actually miss a lot more miss the shoulder a lot more and actually just hit an arm, and you have to be ready for that.
And that's all about speed.
Yes.
If he doesn't get that counter fast enough, I'm just going to drop down.
You also have to, again, like I was saying before, know where your opponent's strikes are going to be coming from. If he's standing, sword up. If he's standing sword up like this, almost all of his shots are going to be coming sword straight down. So I can block out almost everything from here, and at the same time I can either shoot or do my fake and then shot, and then make sure that I have all of his blocks out already. What? Sure. So another fake that I like to use. Swing straight down. Don't give them the gratification of actually contacting their shield. A lot of people are reactionary fighters. If you give them the full contact of bouncing, that's when they're going to attack. If you pull your sword right before and stab underneath, they're going to first lift their shield a little bit to try to block the shoulder shot. If you don't give them contact, you might actually keep them frozen for a half a second while you actually get the kill in.
Not to mention you're bringing their sword out as well, because they're going to be trying to come out.
Right. Also, that leaves their body completely exposed for the gut stab, but you want to make sure that if they're going to be swinging, you have their block.
How did you do that against the left-handed?
It's actually a little bit, that stab is a little bit easier against lefties. Not as many lefties expect the off-shoulder shot, so I would go here and bring it in. But for a lefty, it works really well because the righties are used to taking the shield shoulder. So if I were you, I would use that same shot here and stab in. I would move towards their sword arm, make sure that if I had a blocking instrument of some sort, I'm blocking straight in front of me. If I'm using just my arm, I'm going to block here and I'm going to stab in.
What are some of the other shots you use? Because I know you use a bunch of different ones on me. So.
The key to remember, and you're going to get this in the lefty class, the key to remember about most lefties is the fact that lefties don't expect to get hit on their sword side. Because most people don't match.
Right.
Most people don't match well. So they're going to try to throw the same shots they throw against a righty. And because of that, most lefties, because of that arrogance, because they're totally unfamiliar with it, leave that just wide open.
I guess it's hard for me because I fight in a park that
Knows you're
everybody
lefty.
does that all the time. So.
Right.
But to show what he was at. Another shot.
Another shot. So
I'll protect my left side.
So he's protecting his left. There's a couple things that you can do against lefties or righties if you are a lefty. Personally, I prefer juking down. So I bring my sword straight down. It makes them want to sword block. And then while he's there, it's actually a shot that Aramax showed. It's a shield shot. So Aramax is my knight, and he developed this shot. And you can do it a couple different ways. This works primarily righty on lefty or lefty on righty. Distract your opponent. This is a great time to actually ground tap. So they'll actually look at the sound, and while you're doing that, you spin around, you swing shoulder, you have your sword blocked on your back, and then you bring it back up. If you had not killed them on the first string, you're actually already cocked for a second swing, and just bring it in. And Aramax actually does it with a really good flow. It's just a tap ground, spin around, spin and hit again.
Yeah, the key is the lefties don't know how to guard themselves to get around that. Because I'm protected, right? And I'm going to try to play on the fact that he's a righty. Because that's what a lefty's going to try to do.
Lefty's money shot is right here.
Yeah, I'm going to try to get that side. So that shot's perfect because I'm coming down here and he's already up and over by the time I'm there.
And then I'm going to come around. If I didn't kill him, if I got just an arm, I'm going to come around and I'm going to make sure to finish it off on the backside as well. All right, guys. I would like you to practice a little bit with the feints. Pair up again. Actually, this time with a different partner. I know you guys have been working with the same partners primarily for the first 3 exercises. I'd like you to find someone completely different. I'd like you to practice short stabs from yellow range. I'd also like you to practice some feints. Try saber grip. Put your thumb on your sword. If you guys are wearing big gloves,
So where you can step in and get a
half
stab.
shots, brings, show your opponent something. Look for the reaction. Trying to build a framework of understanding when the opponent sees the shot. As soon as they react, change the shot. Hit them somewhere else. Give them something they're expecting. They're expecting a stab. Start off with a stab fake. When you're around and hit him in the ass. We're going to come around and we're going to critique you guys. Oh, as another side point to this, you're not actually, the advanced portions of this are moving your entire opponent. For this, what you're looking for is the reaction. Throw enough of the shot. If you don't actually throw a feint, just follow through. See when your opponent starts to react to your shots. Once he reacts, then switch the shot. Hopefully at a certain point in time you'll be able to understand when the shot has changed, or when he's reacted to your shot in motion, and be able to change your shot immediately after that. Have a plan. Know when to do it. Know how to do it before you actually go through with it. Keep going, guys.